Greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I should have the correct title of our session ready. We are for May Wellness Warriors. Sorry, I'm not great at multitasking, so y'all gonna have to allow me some grace as I try to navigate all the platforms while still moderating the room. But today we are talking about sisterhood. And I'm gonna first, I always forget to introduce myself because I assume everybody knows who I am. My name's Keisha. I'm the founder of the Wellness Connection, LLC, and Wellness Warriors is one of our community initiatives to help just bring us all together so that we can share our common purpose of empowering ourselves to be our own healers and take our wellness journey into our own hands. So if you are not already following us, please follow us on all social media platforms at the Wellness Connection LLC. Join the Facebook group Wellness Warriors. And if you're not on the email list, shoot me a message and I'll add you to the email list. So I am a holistic life coach and I help professionals become aligned with their purpose through mind, body, and spirit practices. And I run a group practice, and again, with the goal of building community, bringing together healers from all different modalities, and making the wellness journey inclusive and accessible for everyone. So I would like my sisters to introduce themselves today. We have the beautiful Moot Shanika Marie. Do you want to get started and just let us know who you are, where you're from, what you do?
Yes, peace and blessings. My name is Shanika Marie. I am a holistic therapist, a master shaman, a Reiki master teacher, certified Dowser, but most importantly, I am a woman of the Most High. I facilitate healing retreats. I have my own spiritual sorority. I'm an author, motivational speaker. I am just trying to heal the world, right? And I'm so happy to be here. And I'm a sacred woman because that's how I met Miss Keisha Cox. So I met the queen and we just clicked, and here we are. I'm just happy to be in alignment with divine sisters that's doing the work on try to hold space for the world. So Ashe.
Yeah, give thanks. And we also have Sacred Woman Zola here as well. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, and just from your introduction, I see why Keisha said we should connect. I love what you're doing. So I'm Zola. I'm on all social medias as Crystal John. My healing work did start as an earth keeper, working with the crystals, working with the chakras. Of course, I met Keisha through the Sacred Woman program. And what I do in community is I just hold space. I figure out ways to hold space. I figure out what's the missing link, where the alignment needs to be, and find those mutual people and hold space, because I feel like growing up, you cannot just have your family. And it was many times where I just had family and I needed someone from outside to see a perspective, someone from outside to have a conversation with. And just for the children, they need to know that we're still a village. So that's very important to me to continue to build that village, from what our ancestors, our elders have already laid the foundation for.
Ashe. And for those of you who are joining in, I just want to remind you that although we have two beautiful panelists here, that this is a community, so everyone is welcome to speak into the call. If you want to share who you are, and a little bit about yourself, you are more than welcome. It's not obligatory. If you prefer to be in silence, that is also accepted. If you want to drop it in the chat, whatever is comfortable for you, the floor is open. Okay, I'm trying to see what's happening on Facebook. It's okay. And make sure I don't miss any comments on there. So forgive me if I'm not always looking. I'm trying to just make sure I include everyone. So either one of you can start and just let's speak about what sisterhood means to you now at this point in your life. And maybe even giving us a little backstory with what it used to mean and how it's transformed throughout your journey.
Peace. Well, sisterhood. Ah, just the name. Sister. in hood. So I grew up, which people may call, a type of hood, right? And so it definitely has transitioned and changed. Throughout the years, I have learned that to really be a sister, you must completely understand, know yourself. And so the more that I grew into the likeness and the love of myself, I've been able to hold sacred space for other women. I've always asked my friends, even, growing up, I was like, what kind of friend are you? Like, I was always a friend. And so I created a community with the people that was on the same vibration as me. And that is what grew my sisterhood and my role status community, which led to my queen status women, right? Um, which is a sacred sorority. And we just learn how to love ourselves emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And so sisterhood has been deeper and deeper with each line that crosses over. I've had this potentially have my fifth line coming up, and it makes me more aligned because I have to make sure I'm holding sacred space continuously. And that has changed because the love that I have myself for myself has changed because I always have to hold sacred space for someone else. And it's so important to have people to be able to lean on in community. And so when you have a community of divine sisters is different. And so outside of queen status, when I met Keisha Cox, it was in alignment. And so I asked Most High to bring me women that will be able to pour into me. And so this sisterhood transitioned to something bigger that I didn't even know I needed at the time. Um, and it's coming in droves, and the reflection is so real. So sisterhood, it means so many different things at so many different times in my life, but I can just say one word, which is community. So, yes.
Ashe. Ashe. How about you, Zola? What does sisterhood mean for you?
Well, I'm gonna say I grew up, I'm one of eight sisters. So growing up, I just needed my sisters. I didn't need sisterhood. I didn't feel like I needed that. I felt like everything I needed was within, you know, I was born into that. So that was what was important to me, family. So I'm gonna say I never really always had a good connection with women. Like I've used to like couldn't really like know how to like friendship wasn't important to me is what I should say. So it was like I might have you around for a bit, but I didn't really know how to open up outside of my family because I came from a family that was very much closed. So learning how to just come in and open up and share things, and you think like, oh, like that's risky for me. But growing up and becoming the woman I am today, I will say I value sisterhood because it's taught me how to love myself. And it's also taught me that we need to empower each other. Sometimes I feel like we're just out here, and the message is that, women need to kind of, I always felt like I needed to be in the corner somewhere. Right? Like I couldn't really do this work. Like I needed to be led by a man. I couldn't really, I didn't feel empowered. And just getting into sisterhood, it's not perfect. It has its ups, it has its downs, but it's beautiful because it's people who are opening up their womb space, their heart space for you. And and what I've just learned to do is just be accountable. It's taught me to be accountable. And even when things are going, where it's taught me to have those brave conversations. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's not make assumptions. So the sister is just so important to me. And I always saw my brother and my I have one brother, and I have cousins, but they always had a bunch of guy friends. And I was like, why can't the woman have this? What's going on? So it has to be working on you first to attract that. And that's why I've been attracted. And that's why I'm able to be here today because I've been just working on me. So that's what it is. It's a cycle of just continuous work on yourself. And you're going to attract everyone that's in alignment. And those are going to be your power sisters. Thank you.
Ashe, Ashe. For me, I grew up as the youngest of three, and I had two older brothers, so I was a sister, but I never knew what having a sister felt like. And even the cousins that lived close by that were our age were boys, so I was the only girl. Um, And I always wanted a sister, but my parents they wasn't trying to hear me. So it was just me and all the boys. So I didn't understand this idea of sisterhood. It was something that I was lacking and at some point yearning, and I think continue to yearn, but just sort of like stuff that like it's not happening. I don't have that. And it wasn't really until Sacred Woman that I started really understanding, this concept of of sisterhood and the way the sisters were showing up. And both of you, and which is why I called both of you, is that the minute I met you guys, like from the second, you both have been showing up. And that has been so impactful. I'm like, wow, like I like this. I didn't know this is what I needed in my life. And I don't even know how I've been surviving all these years without this. Now I'm living and I feel so fulfilled. I was sharing with Shanika Marie the other day that, usually when my phone rings, I'm like, who is calling me? What do they want? But like now when I see the phone ring, not all the time, but when I see who it is, I'm like, oh, let me answer the phone. Let me go get it. I'm like, really, really happy to be in this place. And as Zola had mentioned, part of it is also doing the work on myself because there was probably, I don't know if the opportunity came up before, but if it did, I wasn't ready to receive it. And being ready to receive it is definitely, definitely important. Um, so do either of you have a story that you can share when someone else supported you in that way that you needed to as a sister?
I have so many instances, but I can say, I mean, even back to you when we first got on the phone, you was like, Queen, I do this, 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 this. And I was like, wow, I've been looking for someone to do this, 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 this. And you say, oh, I got you. I could do this, 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 right? And so it was like a slew of things that we was talking about. And I just want to talk about that because that's so recent. And I want people to understand it's not about the length of time that you know people, but the vibration and the energy that helps you to align with people that are in divine order for your life. And you just said something very important as well. I hate to go back, but we were talking about I was the only girl.
Hmm.
And so I craved sisterhood. Like, so
Yeah.
I understand that. And so I used to look for sisterhood. Like you said, you learned it later. I knew, like, I need some sisters, right? And so yeah, so it's so many times, like even I can show you this beautiful basket. My girlfriend just you can't see it, but it's like it's huge right now. She has all kind of things in it she just brought. And so I think just being a reflection always is going to offer opportunities for people to show up to be there for you. And y'all said something about being open to it. And so because I'm open to it, is so many instances I can give, but I'm just going to give one because me and you just connected so easily. And that happens to me a lot because I'm constantly in alignment right now. So I say.
Shay.
And I could share a little bit about sisterhood and how the sisters in my life have shown up for me. One thing that I've learned is that you don't have that many permanent relationships in your life, right? You have it with your parents, you have it with your children, and you can't really rely on that with everything else, like with work or with a spouse or a partner. But sisterhood is actually one of those continuous relationships. It's always going to be there. Like even if you're gone for a year, you could come back. Even if you got to do some spiritual soul work on yourself, it's always open. The circle is always open. So the best way I'll say that my sisters have shown up for me, um, it's just answering the call, just being there. Like sometimes I have ideas and they sound good in my head. I don't know if it's going to resonate with other people, and I'm ready to do it if it's just me. And then my sisters show up, and I'm just like, I love y'all. Y'all love me, and just me also showing up for them and supporting each other and brainstorming and figuring out what's your goal? What are you trying to do? And we do that in those spaces. Like we figure out, okay, what are you trying to do for your business? Or what are you trying to do for your family? What are you trying to do for your children? Okay, you're looking for a school, so it's like it helps you stay away from low vibrational relationships because the companionship is in the sisterhood too. So I hope that makes sense because it's like if you don't have anything, anything feels good. You know, if you don't have
Mhm.
anything, anybody calling, answering that call could be there. It feels good. But when you have the sisterhood, you already know your sisters are showing up like this. So it puts you in a mindset where everyone needs to show up for me like this because I know what I bring.
Right.
So I hope I answered that. But thank you for making me think of that. It was so many little stories, but I just wanted to share the hitter of what it's been for me to be having my sister show up.
Right, right. I think what I heard there, I heard a lot of things. And one of the things is that we're not coming from a place of lack or desperation, so we're not grasping at anything. And when you are aligned and in a place of when you have a solid foundation, that you are, I'm saying selective, but I don't even know if it's like selective, but like you are naturally drawn. I think selective is more like a conscious checklist type of thing, but I think you're naturally drawn to where you need to be, you know.
But I think selective is good too, though, because if we are in a certain caliber, we want to make sure that the people we are bringing in
Mhm.
are on a certain caliber as well. So, like you said about your phone call, you're selective of how you're
That's
picking up
true.
the
That's true.
and so
That's
I think
true.
it's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
And so I also wanted a story. I have two women up here now that's in my Role Size community. One, she does taxes for $1 million companies. And so whenever I need something, she's a phone call away and she say, I got it. The other one, I didn't have heat. And she said, Queen, I got you. She sent me a freaking electric blanket, y'all.
Mm.
And I didn't have, and so when we're talking about sisterhood and how they show up, I just had to add those two stories because that's important because I'm trying to start my business and I have a whole tax person that was able to walk me through the process of different things. And so I just wanted to shout them out because they were here and I want to let them know that they are important and I appreciate them.
Yes, thanks. Yes, thanks. I wanted to reflect on something that Zola said in terms of, the sisterhood showing up for her, and something also that you had mentioned earlier, Shanika Marie, is that our our community, our sisters are a reflection of us.
Hmm.
And I know that's something that you do, Zola. You show up. I'm just like so impressed at how you show up for your sisters. And even our first actual meeting, we ascended at the same time, but we never
Hmm.
really spoke to each other. There
Wow.
were like over 100 women in our Sacred Women program that year. So it was a large group and we were in different circles, and um but we connected like through the alumni, like just seeing each other and seeing each other online. And I had an event here in Delaware, and guess who just popped up at my event to support. And not to say she's far away, but she's not around the corner either. She came from Philly and drove from Philly. That's about like what, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you're at, to show up at my event and support. And I was literally in tears. Hadn't really met Zola. We may have like crossed paths, but like never had a conversation. But just to see like that she just came and showed up, and I'm not a crybaby, y'all. But that just touched me, like the fact that she would, make a point to show up and support, and that was what I needed. And she knew like I needed that without even having the conversation, and she showed up. So I think, we attract what we put out, and the fact that you both say that people are coming to you and supporting you, and you have the sisters there, is because of what you're putting out. And I've seen that in both of you. Both of you are out and supporting not just your sisters, but building community, building communities of sisterhood. And that is so, so important because so many of us need it. And a lot of times we are in competition with each other, or feel like we're in competition. And that gets in the way, or we don't feel like we can have this bond for whatever reason. So that brings the next question. What barriers do you see coming up in terms of us being able to form more relationships and support each other as sisters?
Again, when we're talking about barriers, it goes back to self and holding that space for you. So if what we say begets what we experience. I am knowing and understanding that there will be no um, boundaries, right? Um, there will be no barriers to the relationships that I have. And if so, I'm asking Most High to release them with freedom and ease because they're not in alignment with me. And so I've had to experience that a few times. I've had barriers, right? We want to call them that. But I just took a deep breath and those relationships flowed on out. So it's different energies that come and I acknowledge them. I see them, I breathe, and I release them. So I won't get stuck on the aspect of having things that are constricted to the growth and development of me. And so I'm trying to answer that question in a way because there's always going to be things that's going to be barriers for us, right? Um, but if we stay focused on the work will always work. And so that's what I'm going to say about that. So,
No, absolutely. And I excuse me for being on and off camera. I rescued a kitten and he's doing his thing in here. I rescued him this morning because I heard him crying all night, but I think I'm actually going to have to find him a home. But I think for me, the barriers have always been the ego. The barriers are always the ego. The barriers are all also what they say, like, you're not bigger than the program. You're not bigger than the sisterhood. So I find that so many times. And also, just yourself is going to be the barrier. Sometimes we will don't take things so personal. I will say sometimes people take things so personal and it really messes up what you're trying to build. And I look at things as a mirror. And for me, you're my reflection. So just how I want to be given the benefit of a doubt, or I want to be giving, I want you to think that regardless of what's going on, that I got your best interest at heart. I try to do the same thing because we're all healing. That's why we're here. So when you're healing, you come with your baggage, you come with your stuff, and then you bring it into the sisterhood. And we're gonna pick it apart until you just left, right? To rise up from all those things that were holding you down. So I always say, don't let yourself get away. Because I've had sisters who I've met, they've come out and maybe I haven't seen them, and then I'll see them again, maybe a year, maybe 6 months, 3 months, and I'll say, hey, what happened? Well, what's your and I'll say something that's just like I didn't even notice. I said, I wish you would have said something to me right then and there because that wasn't what I was thinking. That wasn't what was going on. I was not trying to make you feel little. But when we're afraid, when we have that mindset, we're already back against the wall. Some of us never had a sisterhood. So of course we're coming in and we're vulnerable. So we're not coming in as trusting. And we're still coming in looking for um what's wrong sometimes, right?
Mhm. Ashe.
So I think my experience overall, I always find people getting aware of their own selves and also that ego. You always have to check it. And that's why I love that I have a team that sometimes I might have an idea and I say, let's vote, let's think about it. What do you think? So it's really not just about me, what I want to do. It had to be me at first because I had to build it. But once they came, I had to be like, well, what do you think about this? Or how can we do that? Or how can we support this sister that got this going on? Any ideas? So, yeah, just those two things. You always got to watch those.
Ashe, Ashe. I wanted to give some clarification on this ego because I think a lot of times people hear the word ego and they interchange it with like arrogance. And the way you are using ego is the true definition is the self, right? And in coming from this perspective about me, and a lot of times it's not arrogance, but as you said, it's fear and afraid of being vulnerable and being in this
Mhm.
self-preservation and self-protection. And sometimes it may come off as being standoffish, but really when someone's in that position, it's because of some experiences that they had And I can speak for myself, that causes fear, and I have to be strong. I have to be tough. I can't be vulnerable, and being able to heal and get past that and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and allow people in and being able to share and use your voice and saying, hey, this happened and I felt this way without feeling like it's going to be a confrontation or a problem or you're going to be rejected. So, when we say ego, we're talking about our sense of self and us being separate from the community, us being separate from the whole, and where in fact we're all part of the one, of the whole, and realizing that, and as you said, that most people ain't out to get us. People don't wake up in the morning saying, what am I going to do to make Keisha mad today? Like, how am I going to get her today? That's not you. And if they do something, I don't,
Mhm.
most of the time, it's not because they're trying to. It's because, again, they may be in their own place of ego or whatever it is that they need. And not to say that they're doing may not be hurtful, but a lot of times that's not the intention. And if we just sort of come with that place of understanding and have the conversation, a lot of things could be resolved in the moment, as
Mhm.
you said. Yeah.
And just to add to that, what I find is that many of us do not have good boundaries. So sometimes the sister, I'm like, this is not a Romeo and Juliet story. This is not, we gotta have the boundaries. We keep each other cups full. We cannot, stretch it until it pops. So also I think that's also what I'm reminding people. Like your expectation sometimes is like you get into this and it's like, oh, I'll go to the moon for you. That's I want you to go to the moon. How can I love you as a sister and I want you to go and pull the stars down for me? Right? We probably gonna pull them down together, but I think the boundaries and sometimes we got to work on our boundaries because we might have been around people who our parents could have been in relationships that were toxic and stayed in it and we witnessed abuse or certain things and it just warped how we have boundaries about things. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation because when we don't have a good expectation around that can also be something that's harmful to what we're trying to build, the bigger picture.
And I want to add to that as well. And so we were talking about boundaries and we were saying the ego. And so when I spoke about the barriers, I've seen 20, 30. I mean, it's all kind of barriers that people have when they come because of the things that they have experienced. Boundaries are very important. And so when I was speaking of letting the let them flow, I'm going to be the tree. I tell people I'm going to be the tree. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be stable because everything is you. It has nothing to do with me. And so when we hold a mirror up to ourselves and continue to hold a mirror up to other people, they are making a conscious decision to say, whatever this is going on. I think that you talk too much, or I think this is about you, or I think whatever it is, it always go back to the person and I let them flow. But as I let them flow, I'm going to be still. I'm going to be that open door where you can come back and forth because there's so many different things that as women, as getting together, if a person look too good sometimes and you don't feel comfortable in your skin, that's a concern. And so for me, again, the barriers are going to come, the boundaries are going to be needed, but long as we are secure within who we are, the sisterhood will remain intact. And so I'm the tree and I'm going to let things flow because they're always going to flow. It's so many different things. Like Queen said, like, I didn't even know that you meant that. Or I didn't know you felt that way. And that happens. I've seen hundreds of women. And so I just be still because when you start going through the back and forthness, because it's like the ego versus the ego. Well, I didn't mean this and you didn't say that. And so what I be still a lot. And I let people argue amongst themselves. I hold space and I said we're going to be respectful. What we call in my sorority is called a queen check. And so a queen check is when you tell somebody like, hey, and we go and we soften our voice and we pray and we meditate and we breathe before we say what we have to say. But it allows a space for me to say some things and for you not to take it to a place where I'm trying to attack you. And so when we're talking about barriers, just the word itself bring on an energy of something that can disrupt the whole sisterhood that you were trying to build. So we just got to hold space. We just got to hold space for the barriers and understand and know that they have not been on this journey. I've been doing this for 30 years. They have not been on a journey in the healing that we have been on. So there's always going to be something that's going to come up. And so I have so many women that I work with on a consistent basis that I cannot give myself to the things, to the ego, to that. We just have to hold space. And sometimes I don't say anything because some things is not for me to work out. That's for you to work out. And if you're feeling that way about something, again, Queen said the reflection. And I'm gonna keep it right there. Because
I
this is so
see.
powerful, you know?
Yeah, I've been working on that myself when I am running into some feeling that's being sparked with my interactions with other people. And I'm saying, okay, I'm not here to control how they show up. So what is it that I'm feeling? Well, first of all, why am I feeling this way? Because of what someone else is doing. Because most of the time what they're doing really ain't having direct impact on my life and my destiny. So something they say or something they do, why am I being upset by this? So really looking at that, and it's not about them to show up a certain way for me all the time. But for me to also understand, what is it in me that what do I need as a person? It's telling me something that I need. So I appreciate that perspective. I want to ask a question about how do you get from that place, right? From not moving, not putting up the barriers, because the barriers are not a natural, that's not our natural state, right? We're putting
Right.
up barriers. So how do we get to a place where we are more open and fluid? But before, just think about that for a second. I just want to read a comment in the chat from Markeisha. She said, we create unrealistic expectations based on the possibilities of what could be instead of the reality that we are all individuals with different experiences, living the best we can in that moment based on our individual capacities.
Mm.
This is why our own rules and boundaries are essential. Yes, yes. And I think actually that's what I was trying to say. She said it so eloquently, right? It's
Very well
about,
spoken.
yeah, everyone is trying to live the best they can
Hmm.
within their own capacities. And,
Hmm.
if people are doing things, a lot of times it ain't about us. Most of the time it's not about us. It's about us
It's
because we're
never about
feeling it,
us.
right? And we
Hmm.
got to figure out why we're feeling it. But what they're doing
Yep.
ain't about us.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about them. So how do we come into this place that we are able to let go of these barriers or this protective stance that we might have? And I know you
Um,
said a little bit about holding space. That is part of it, right? Hmm.
hmm I could take on this question just a little bit how I have moved on from it. And I want to say two things. Um, if I see you naked, either I'm going to offer you clothes or I won't judge you. Right. So for me, everyone's healing is prescribed to them. Sometimes I feel like when we get into a healing circles and building sisterhood, we sometimes think that everyone is coming in on the same level, right? And also what the creator has prescribed for me to do, for me to heal, is specific to me. So I think the best way to um to tackle the barriers is to acknowledge everyone as an individual that adds to the group, right? And it's not uniformed. It's not, everyone doesn't have the same tools. Everyone hasn't had the same experiences. Some of us are coming in with more trauma than others, or some of us are coming in experiencing um, you know, less or more. So you just gotta know that there's a thermometer, right? And you're here to make sure the temperature stays on 72. Comfortable for everybody, right? This is the temperature here. We're gonna keep it on 72, even
Okay.
though, even though, because that's what's fair for because it's like you could put a jacket on, you could take a jacket off. But I think what I'm just trying to say is looking at everyone as an individual, helping them with their self-care plan. Sometimes people coming in there trying to give, that's their love language. But it's like, hold up, what's your self-care plan? Let's just start there. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't offer us anything if your gas tank is on E. You can't even get to the circle, right? So I think what I've learned to do is just individually find times to be open. When can we connect? I get a lot of times when I say, look, you ain't got to talk about it now, but here's my number if you want to talk about it later. Because some people are going to be more boisterous and ready to come up front. Others are going to still be in that shell, right? And it doesn't mean they're not getting the medicine. Doesn't mean they're not getting the medicine. Even when you see children play, I always, go back to, because I'm in education. I'm in ECE. I love ECE. And sometimes we think that they're not getting it because their way of playing right now is just watching the play take place. They're not ready to jump in yet, but they're watching, but they're still enjoying it. So yeah, for me, it's just accepting people as an individual, making sure that they have what they need for themselves. Because you come in, you're ready to give to the circle, but I'm like, are you sure you could do all of that? Are you sure? What are you doing every day for peace? You can't be saying I'm just coming here once a month. This is where what you doing throughout that time for you?
Mm.
Because I'm not. I we never want to get. I can heal you. Only you can heal you, right? So I think holding them accountable to that, recognizing them as an individual, and making sure that they are working on themselves. Because sometimes it becomes a click, it becomes a look, it becomes a photo for the Instagram, right? But it
Mm,
has to be, how are you continuing to do this work on yourself? Because
mm.
it's easy to show up once a month, but what are you doing in between? What are you doing? And we have to really, when we see they're doing that, that's when we got to come in with all that support and love.
Ashe, Ashe. That's interesting because I am looking on Facebook and our beloved Mama Moot is watching from Facebook, and she's one of those people that is so supportive, but she also holds you accountable. And she will call and check on you in between, but she's like, "Did you do this?" She comes on the celestial calls and she's like, "Have you gotten your calendar?" When are you going to get your calendar? Because you can't just come on, and receive and not actually put any effort into also doing some learning. And she will hold me accountable for a lot of things that I say I want to do. And she's like, "Well, did you make the call yet? Did you start yet?" Um, and again, it's not about doing the work for someone. It's not about healing someone, but it's about, being there to support their journey, right? And if they need help accessing the tools, you help them access the tools, but you can't do the work for them.
What I found was the most important, has been the most important for me, is me holding space for myself. So all of us can speak to a person's healing. We can tell them what they need to heal. We can give them the tools. But the people that I have nurtured the most, I let them see me. I let them see me do the work. I let them walk beside me. And so holding a space as authentically within yourself and allowing the Most High to constantly use you, that speaks more than me telling you what you have to do for yourself. And I've seen it.
Mhm.
I can say all day, well, your root chakra is off, and I need you to drink more water and meditate every day. But when I stop talking and they just see me do, then they join. And so your parents tell you all the time, do this, do that, do that. And when you are a child, you don't listen. You're like, my, just like we're people that are learning to heal on their own. They want to see your work. They want to see how you're moving with spirit. They want to feel your energy. And so that says more. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying how everyone has so many tools. We all know what to do, right? We all know how to do the basics of our spiritual hygiene. But when you are constantly in a space, when you are around people that are doing those things, it knocked down some of them barriers because she's not just talking, she's walking the walk, she's living it. And I think that is the most important way to help people reduce barriers, is because they are allowing themselves to be a part of what you're doing in a way that's authentic, and you not pushing it on them. It's just a being. And that's what I've noticed. I've gotten so many women because they're so scared. They're so scared because they've been in all these spiritual communities and people talk about them. They're doing black magic. They are talking down to them. All these things is happening, and then they come over here, and you're just being. And so they told me, I watch you. I've had people watch me for a couple of years to see if I was going to flip up on them, if I was going to talk about them, if I was going to um, be the typical woman or whatever they used to. And when I wasn't, that's when they were my speak my smoke people, like my spokesperson, like they have to go out and they tell everybody, oh, this is where you need to be, because over here they're not doing what other people are doing. So I don't have to knock down barriers. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to do what Most High want me to do. I'm going to stay in alignment. I am going to fast. I'm going to pray, and they're going to come. And the barriers are knocked down just because of that, just because of how I walk. And I will continue to do that because you're safe over here. And I love you and I see you. And I'm not saying they don't mess up. They talk about each other and all that. But I don't do that. I'm not going to have a conversation about this sister over here. I'm going to be the example. I'm going to be the tree. That's gonna be my word of the day. I'm gonna be the tree.
Ashe, Ashe. I love that. And I don't know if I would have been able to put that in words, but you are so right. And the reason why I have automatically been drawn to you and to Zola and to Mama Mood and other women in the community, the ones that I'm closest to, is because of the energy that you emulate. It's not any particular thing that you said to me. It's the energy and what I see from you. And if you're living your life, what did my Mama Moo commented? She said, be the living example.
Come on, sis. That part. Everything I
Yes.
just said, she said it in three
Three
words.
words, be
Oh,
the living
excuse me.
example.
She said that.
Right. And that's it. Like people see and they
Right.
feel your energy. You don't have to really tell them anything, right? And just be, and that's what it is, right? This is like a unspoken feeling you get from that sisterhood. It's a feeling that you get. It's not so much what anyone does for you, because if you're in it because of what someone does for you, then you're not in it for the right reasons.
And it will fall, and it won't be the
Mhm.
foundation. And they will see that, they will feel that.
Ashe, Ashe. So I want to move forward in a little bit that we skipped in our introductions is, we spoke about who you are, but I want to know more about what you do. And this next question is about building community and what ways can we build community. But both of you are doing so much work in building community, and I want to hear, I think people need to know what you're doing as well. Do you want to start, Zola?
Sure, I was trying to hit that unmute button. So, well, I want to talk about a few things that we have going on, that I have going on, that I've been trying to be consistent with. From the crystal perspective, I'm Crystal John and I'm Earth Keeper, and I love my crystal cousins. We have monthly offerings around that where we just come together. It's not about buying more crystals, even though I wholesale. If y'all need crystals, let me know. It's more so about working with the crystals you have, because I feel like sometimes we do all this stuff and we neglect. We don't go. It's like, you have this. Why are you not using it? Why are you not doing this? And and I went through the program with Queen of Food, just seeing how important those crystals were, and that they were a part of that program, a part of every gateway. It really reaffirmed for me, like, this is really something I want to offer, my city, the people who don't have accessibility to this. I just was talking to a poppy store actually, and he's into crystals. He said maybe we could put some in here. I said we should put some in here. Let's get a case. You could come right here and get your crystals, right? Because that work has been that was work that came in a way that I knew it was from spirit. I had no idea that I would ever get into crystal work. It was not on my agenda. And I started to connect with the crystals, and I started to learn more and study and sit under, certain teachers out here like, Baba Wandering Feather and Baba Razben, and even Sister Kafunya up there in Brooklyn. We love her. And you're just being like, hey, this work has changed my life because I've learned to embody this, and now I want you to be able to embody this. And it's really, to me, the crystal work is really about your emotions. It's like, let's figure that out. We just come from cultures sometimes, even from family to family, household to household, where people do not have a good understanding of what they like and what they don't like, and how can I communicate that. And for me, that's been the biggest thing, even as adults. Like, you could find a child sometimes that could speak up for themselves and, do certain things more than an adult might, because maybe that throat chakra was blocked, or maybe, when they tried to talk about how they felt people shut them down or made them feel, a certain way. So that's a lot of the work that I do. So if you want to become a crystal cousin, you can email me and we'll add
That's
you to
cute.
that group for that work. And we also have an annual crystal cookout every year that we do, and it's really to celebrate the crystal rap artists. We're coming up on our 7th year. I don't have a date set yet, but it'll probably be early August, late July. I'm working on the venue now, but it was really to acknowledge that crystal work that people are doing. Like, sometimes we going around wearing crystal jewelry. We out here looking like the ancient Egyptians, and we looking like the Kemetic people, and we don't even acknowledge that work, right?
Hmm.
Like, so I was like, you know what, we're gonna have something where we come and celebrate, and we always crown a king or queen of crystal wrap, and let's talk about the wrap, the jewelry. So that's something else that I'm doing. And outside of that, we have Sacred Women Book Club Philly, because we've been doing the book as a community since 2019, and several of us have gone through the Queen of Foods program. One of our main supporters is Sister Malika, sacred woman practitioner. Sister Malika, she has the One Art venue. And we're doing an event this year called Goddess in the Garden. But to build up for that event, I'm hosting a goddess gathering every month. And it's going to be at a different park, because I think we have to heal through nature. So it's going to be at a different park where we could just come and be how we supposed to be. Goodness, I just want to be how we supposed to be. And sometimes, we don't have time, so it's just intentional to be out there and have those room circles. And for Sacred Woman Book Club Philly, we meet every new moon at One
Mm.
Art. We meet every new moon there in person, and we do weekly readouts on Zoom and Clubhouse. But there's always room. There's always room. I'm always finding ways to make people feel connected, and that's where the other work came from, because everybody's not doing the crystal work, but everyone's doing the womb healing work. So it's like, okay, this we could connect these things. Everyone's different. Everybody doesn't come in can resonate with the amethyst. They're like, I don't resonate with that. So I hope I answered that. I hope I didn't answer it too much. But crystaljoan@gmail.com, or Crystal Joan on all social medias. And thank you, Keisha, for allowing me to share that.
Definitely.
Mm.
I think we need to hear it. It's all about building community. And I don't know if we had this conversation. I'm not gonna say I do crystal work. I tried rapping and um it was challenging for me, so I moved away from it. But I do make and
Mm.
lead workshops on making chakra healing. And this is, the seven
Mhm.
chakras, and there's a stone for each chakra. But when I do the
Mhm.
workshops, I guide people to creating their own, and maybe it's more root chakra, maybe it's more throat chakra, and doing that type of work. And what I did, I'm just going to share with you last year for Ascension. These are smaller, but I did
Mm.
the stones for each gateway. So
Oh,
starting here
wow.
with Newt, with the moonstone, and
Mhm.
not the right wing,
Wow.
and then just working through all of them and going all the way to the Meshkanet.
Oh, that is amazing. So we
That's
got to connect.
beautiful.
Sidebar. We got to connect. Workshop coming. Okay.
And
I
that would be
love it. It's
something with the book
beautiful.
club that we could probably do. And what she's doing, and when people speak, it's so modest. It's just like, yeah, I've been running this little book club since 2019. Like the community is, let me tell you, that energy and that spirit and how they support each other. There was one sister that just really,
Mm.
really wanted to be in the Sacred Women Rites of Passage program and had some financial challenges because y'all know the program ain't cheap.
It's an
And
investment.
yeah, and the way the sisters supported and made sure that she had every cent she needed when it was come time to start it by any means necessary. The sisters pulled together and made sure she was able to start the program. And it meant like you could tell how bad she wanted it. It was just like she
Mm.
had to be there. So I love that. I love it. I love it. And there was a question about where you are. Well, she is in Philly. I was about
Yes.
to answer. Yeah, you are in Philly. And again, Zola came out to Wilmington and I'm like, I'm having an event. She was like, well, it ain't that far. We will be there. We showing up,
Yes.
Period.
That's
So
what it's
I love that.
about.
I
Yeah.
Just
love that.
like you said, embodying it, talk it, walking it. I
Mm.
was like, if I'm for this, I gotta pop
Come
up on my
on.
sister Keisha doing her thing. And it was a beautiful experience. It was, and it felt so good to see the village still being there to support each other. Like outside of Ascension, being an alumni, we could have just done our own things. But I'm like, no, I'm trying to connect and I'm trying to, with everyone that is in alignment for me to do that with, because I think that work is so important.
Very important. I
Zoe
say.
said she needs to connect with you. She's also, I'm trying to get the link sharing that she's written a couple of books, and one of them is Turn Your Home into a Moon Lodge.
Mm.
And not only does she write the books, but she does offer support and guidance. She doesn't just, hey, take the book, right? If you have questions,
Yeah.
she is so willing to share and support you on your journey as well. So,
Gratitude. Please transfer the
I
information.
say.
Plug us in.
definitely, definitely,
Thank you.
definitely. So, Shanika Marie, tell us about
Wow.
your
Okay.
community.
What am I doing in a community? So let me just start and say I have a role status community. We meet every other Sunday. We met today and we just talk about different healing things. We do sound healing, we do meditation, beautiful things. I have a Queen Status sorority. I'm Queen Status. I see the logo. And then where I teach emotional and mental health through physical. Oh my goodness, we dance, we paint. I offer workshops. We just went through a spiritual tools workshop last week. The week before that, it was a spiritual foundation. I've done ego versus God voice. I've done some self-esteem and confidence. I've done how to ground yourself, how to root yourself, how to connect with your ancestors. I've done about 30 different workshops. The next workshop I will be doing is the inner child healing workshop, which is connected to my inner child healing retreat, which is in June. The workshop start on Wednesday. The retreat is June 10th through the 14th in Cambridge, Maryland. I have a book, a workbook, affirmation cards. I've facilitated about 15 retreats. I do individual healing as a master Reiki teacher, a shaman, a certified dowser, Pono certified, archangel like archangel practitioner. I am a licensed therapist. What else do I do? Oh, I can read your chakras. I can clear your chakras. I can bring back parts of you that's been missing through trauma. I heal through dance. I'm a sound healer. I am a woman of the Most High. So you sit in front of me, I can channel to see what you need. And so that may be you dancing, that may be you screaming, that may be me touching you, but I also heal people over the phone as well because I know energy is universal and it moves. What else do I do? I do so much. I teach people how to breathe within themselves. Oh, I'm having Reiki classes coming up. I have 12 modalities. Reiki Sun, Reiki Moon, Reiki Water, Reiki Breath. So all of those, I'll be teaching different Reiki modalities. from what Most High have given me and the work I've done. I've been doing this work for about 30 years. Oh my goodness. I have individual sessions, and so that's the most important thing. Like if you really want to know who you are, where you going, where you've been, I'm her. And I say that in the most humbling, boastful way because I walk heavy with it. And so if you're ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level, I'm here. And whatever that means for you, whatever that means for you. So I used to say something. I said, I'm humble enough to channel the truth, and I'm bold enough to tell you exactly what you need to do. And so when we're walking with the divine, sometimes we can't be quiet about it. Sometimes you have to let people know and understand you are here. I am ready. I am here. I am ready. I am here. I am ready if you are ready. And so I want to leave y'all with something too. Keisha, we're gonna do a little sound healing for the people and know what we doing.
We can definitely do that
Okay.
to close out. But before we do, you said a lot of things. I think what we want, no, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And probably not enough because it's probably more than you didn't say.
Yeah, I know.
We want to know how to connect with you. And I think I should have asked that from the beginning. So both
Oh,
of you can say and drop in the chat how people could connect. Because I know you even have your healing space. Is it open for
yes.
everyone? How do people join in?
Oh, okay. So Healing through Shanique Marie's where I'm at on Instagram, HealingThru. Um, Shanique Marie, ShenikAMarie. Or you can email me at healingthroughshaniquemarie@gmail.com. And my queen sister, one of my sorors just put down inside the chat, I am shaniquemarie.com is my website. Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, and so just hit me up on either one of DM me, inbox me, or you can call me, text me at 252-820-9491 and just ask any questions, how whatever you're experiencing or what you trying to do, if you want to join the Sacred Sundays, if you just want to vibe, because I've been to New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Atlanta, Tennessee, California. I do things in North Carolina, Maryland. And so I do travel. I can do at-home events as well if you want to come and have everybody. I'm a medium, and so I can connect you to your ancestors as well. If you want to have like a medium party at your house and things like that. I mean, whatever it is, I'm dealing with spirit. I do house cleansings, all kind of things like that. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. I'm a spiritual woman, and so however you want to work, I can work with you. If you want your boyfriend or girlfriend back, I'm not your girl. I'm not your girl. If you want to send somebody something that's gonna ruin your life, I'm not your girl. But if you're talking about something high vibrational and you're trying to really grow, I'm your girl. So I have people like, but could you? I'm like, no, I don't do that. And so that's not my work. That's not my work. My work is of what I think is of God. So
Okay.
whatever that means to you.
Zola, can you also drop information in the chat how people could connect with you and your spaces? So, final question. What is one small step that you can share with the viewers for them to build, invite sisterhood support into their life, build community?
Mm.
I think Zola's still typing.
So I would say to be open and being able to identify your triggers, because a lot of times when we are hurting, it is because of our past experiences. And that sometimes does not allow us to have the sisterhood that we need because we're too stuck in the past and we're at a space where we cannot see. And so I would say be quiet and say, Most High, show me what I need to work on so I can have healthy relationships and go on a fast for a couple of days, at least three, and just be still. And so that fasting for you may just be all fruit and vegetables, all depends on where you are on your journey. The fasting for you may be no meat, right? At this point, I would probably do liquids because I do a lot of fruit and veggies as is. And so just being still enough to be able to listen and really find out what you need from a community, but be that. Be what you need, right? Try to be that for yourself first. A lot of times we're asking for things for people that we're not giving to ourselves. So be what you want and then open your arms up to be able to receive.
Shay.
Yes, that was so powerful. And I just want to add to it by just saying what I think everyone should try to do is work on healing your heart,
Mm,
right? Work on healing your heart. Sometimes we're just looking for that escape type of love. But I think you really need to figure out what it is that has really what are those scabs that are still there? What are those things that still hurt, and don't run from them. Confront them. You might need to write it down. You might need to write it down. Write down
mhm,
some of those things. Get it out. Because as long as it's in there, um it's going to keep you it's going to make it hard for you to attract that sisterhood that you want. It's
mhm.
okay that things happened, right? But you
Yes.
don't have to carry it, right? The creator loves you so much. You got through it. You got through it. And it's okay to, acknowledge and use it to as wisdom and use it as a lesson, but you have to let those things go, because if you don't, you allow them to hold you back. And one thing that I do kind of like for my heart, if you have black obsidian, anytime I feel like a negative emotion, if it's jealousy or if it's envy or if it's low self-esteem, I'll take that black obsidian out and I'll rub that on my heart chakra. Get that out of there. I don't even want it to sit for a second, you know?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
black obsidian is really good at absorbing those negative emotions and pulling them out. I don't let them sit and make that heart, because that heart is the one. If that heart chakra is not right, everything else is going to be on beside and everything else.
yeah, I
and
agree.
just working with that rose quartz too. I
Mhm,
know I know everybody, I tell everybody, just carry some rose quartz with you, learn about it, and try to embody it.
mhm,
I used to wear a lot of crystals, and then people said, you don't wear crystals like you used to, because every day I'm embodying a different
mhm.
crystal.
Mhm.
I'm embodying it now. I don't need to hold it. It gave me the lesson, and now we're walking with it. So I hope that helps. And I'm going to tell you, it hurts. When I was working on healing my heart and figuring out what's going on, oh my goodness, I was crying, I was praying, I thought I was losing my mind, because I was like, all this stuff I locked it up. I got to open up those doors and let it out now. That's the start, and you're going to feel so good once you do that.
Ashe, Ashe.
Yes, I agree.
So pausing, going within, breathing, crystal work. You can use some rose oil, add some rose oil to that for the aromatherapy. What is the frequency? Do you know the sound frequency? For the
528
heart.
is a love
For
frequency.
the heart.
Yes.
Thanks. Um, and I would
Breath
say
work.
yes, yes. I think you mentioned that. I know I heard it. I don't know if you emphasized it, but I heard it because that's definitely important. Um, and I would add to ask the question, right? A lot of times we are trying to get rid of the feeling, but sometimes we need to ask the question so we can release the feeling. And when I feel like I am activated by other people's actions, I ask myself why. What is this person doing to me? And they may have done something, but when I say, what are they doing to me? Sometimes I come up with nothing because they're not doing nothing to me. They're doing something to work through their own stuff, right? They didn't do it to me. I could say, I feel disrespected, but did they disrespect me? That has to come with intention. They have to wake up and say, I'm trying to disrespect you right now in this moment, right? And usually they're not trying to disrespect you, usually. So asking myself, what are they doing to me? Is this something that's going to affect my life a year from now? Like, are they actually doing something to me? I used to get mad over looks. Like, people look at me, I'm like, oh no, I don't like the way they're looking at me. And y'all laughing, but you've been there too, right? But like, what is that doing to me? They looking at me. Is that doing something to me at the end of the day? No, so when I'm able to look at it that way, I'm able to release it as well because it's like that's silly. I'm letting myself get all worked up because of somebody's eyeballs in the direction their eyeballs are going in. Like, it's not worth my energy. So I think that's something that, I would suggest just to go in and see the why. And I could say the reasons why, but all those reasons why is not because of what they're doing to me. It's because of what has been done to me in the past or what I've experienced. So it's the lens I'm coming to it with, and then you can work through that. So that is it. I am complete. I like to thank both of you for showing up, not just today, but every day. You guys show up every day. You ladies show up every day for your sisters in the community. And I think we were offered some sound healing to close the session, an extra treat today.
This is my favorite. Queen, do you want to give me an affirmation to use? Do you want to give me something? A word affirmation.
I'm gonna say I'm open to giving and receiving love.
Mhm. Everybody ground. Imagine roots coming from the bottom of your feet. Show. I am open. I give. I receive. I am open. I love you. I love you. I say.
Ashayo.
That's a little
Yes,
something. Let it
thanks.
clear some things.
Oh, that felt beautiful. That
Thank
felt
you.
beautiful.
Yes, yes,
Good
yes.
thanks. Good thanks. So
Mhm.
please, let's not let this conversation end here. We are building community. Connect with Shanika Marie, connect with Zola, connect with me. Follow us on social media to see what offerings we have so you can join in. Join the Wellness Warriors Facebook group and reach out. You can reach out, DM us, email us, message us. We are here. Ashe, until next time, everyone, peace and blessings.
Peace. And we thank you, Keisha. Thank you, sis.
Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and your Mother's Day.
Yes.
Well, happy Mother's Day to those of you who celebrate.
Yes.
Yes.
Take care, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes. Yes.
Thank
Yes.